let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. She give me a bit of her love.
Yo, what up, y'all? Welcome to another one, man. This is your boy Rod One, and this is Spark-N-Conversation, and y'all know what I do each and every week. I get up here and I talk to some of the world's most interesting people, and tonight I'm scheduled to do the same thing. But until then, this is what we're going to do, y'all. We're going to give our special shout-outs that we do each and every week to all the people who download the audio version of this platform. I definitely appreciate y'all. Y'all are all over the world. And it just makes me feel like, you know, I'm accomplishing something when I know that people want to hear exactly what's being said. We know that the visual part, it always helps when it comes to other parts of your business, but we understand that podcasting is about the audio. So the fact that people are downloading the audio, I want to make sure that I always give y'all special shout outs, right? Because y'all are hearing this. Every week that I give y'all a shout out, y'all hearing it. And I can tell in the response of the downloads that you guys are still rocking with your boy. So I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much wherever y'all are in the world and whoever you are in the world. Thank y'all so much, all right? So outside of that, y'all, the show today is going to be a little deep. We're going to have a little controversy going on because there have been so many things going on in our community that needs to be talked about, but outside of the things that are constantly being talked about, which is making news everywhere. But before we get into that, let's get into this. Y'all know the vibes, man. August 22nd. We Don't Wait, We Create Part 2. Vincent M. Ward from The Walking Dead will be in the building, chopping it up with all the people who come out that are in the entertainment industry, whether you're a model, whether you're an actor, actress, whether you're a clothing designer, whether you're an artist, whether you are a podcaster, whether you're a filmmaker, screenwriter, whatever you do in the business, he will be here chopping it up with y'all. And I have a bunch of other special guests too that will be in the building, right, to be there for y'all, to help y'all move this thing forward that y'all call y'all career. Because that's the only thing I consider maybe missing out here, right, is the connecting of the dots. And what I mean by that is that, you know, we got so many people in these industries working separately, but they all need each other. Just like when I talk about the films all the time, you know, people that hit me saying, hey, do you know somebody that do this or do that and whatever? And it's like, yeah, but, you know, why don't I connect y'all? So We Don't Wait, We Create come from that vision or that passion of saying, like, listen, all of these different industries that's so separate, if they work together, they can create what we call a conglomerate of just the business and this area, and also make it to where when people come to this area, they know they got dedicated people that they could call on that could come and show up for them to help them with their projects, you know. A lot of people be looking for different places to shoot their projects, whether it's films, skits, series, or whatever. And in this area, you know, there's a lot of places and a lot of good talent, great talent in this area. The problem is everybody's not working together to create that conglomerate so that whenever you guys attack social media, you can attack social media as an industry, not so much as just you are a rapper or you're a singer or you're an actor or you're an actress or you're a filmmaker. Not just that, but they will want to come and they can know who already is putting in the work, because it's really hard for people to say that they do something. People are going to do their research. They're going to go to your Instagrams and your Facebooks and all that, and they're going to really see if you about that life that you say. So, you know, everyone that's in this business, their social media platform should be, you know, it should be riddled with what they do, right? It should be, you should be able to tell from their platform what they do. It shouldn't take you to have to go searching and scrolling through a whole bunch of stuff before you see something from whatever they say that their title is. So that's what we're building. We're building people who are taking it that you know, that want that particular freedom, right? That they want to live vicariously through themselves, not through other people, through the gift that God gave them. Entertainment ain't never going away. I see that people have been talking about AI movies now. Like I see a lot of people in the acting world in certain groups that I'm in, they're complaining about that. Like, taking like, yo, AI actors are getting ready to start taking people's jobs. They get ready to come up with all these different things and people are going to watch it. But I don't understand that, because for the life of me, ever since the written word has been written, people have been reading, and it's never gone away since that time. And I think that when it comes down to who you are as a creative, people can make AI all they want to. They've been using it, and people call it the CGI and all these other things in movies. They've been using it for the longest, right? They've been using camera waves and camera tricks to make you think that something is really happening. That's not all the time. You gotta think about it. How many times you seen John Wick get shot in his movies, but he's still in the next movie? So y'all know that they do these things that they consider magic, right? These Hollywood magic tricks that they do. And so AI in movies is nothing different. It's just your mindset, right? Anytime something is new, people automatically start getting into their bag of fear and talking negative about things, when it doesn't matter what you create. It's a lane for it, because AI is not going to help unless people are using AI. AI is not going to help with the poverty that people are going through, or the real life situations that people are dealing with every day in life, or the things that people use to create humor in order for their lives to keep pushing in their life, because they find the humor in the things that they go through. Those things will never go away. So if you're that person, you don't have to be worried about AI actors or AI movies coming up and all that other shit. You don't have to worry about that, because it's not you. It is a version of entertainment, but it's not you. And yeah, there's so many people complaining about AI flyers right now. How many of them are going to complain about the movies that they watch or all these other things? Because what I have noticed is that the movie The Odyssey has been in everybody's mentions right now that love movies, right? The Odyssey. They've been talking about how it looks and how they stuck to the whole mythology of the time period, and they created characters to look like the way that they were described in the books, or even during that time frame, right? Of different type of beings and creatures that existed, and they use all these things. And I'm saying, for everybody that was talking about how great this movie is, it still use a lot of that AI, green screen, blue screen, all of these different things that they use, CGI and everything else, in order to create this visual, just like they've been doing with Jurassic Park, right? Look how long the Jurassic Park is it's been rocking, and the dinosaurs are not real, like, right? Like, but they look like it, and they got all these other things, King Kong, Godzilla, all these other things. So I don't understand. Like, we still got to be in our bag. We still got to be in our creative bag. And then, yeah, it's going to always be a thing where something new is going to come in. But you are the new, right? You can always create the new. It's always going to be a story in our community that needs to be told, and that people want to be, they want to be interested in. So having fear about AI and CGI and all these other things that's rolling right now when it comes down to entertainment, it's just, I don't know. It's just a form of whatever you got to do for your mindset, I think. I don't think that's something that people should be fearing. They should just be creating. That's it. Like, just create it and put it out. You know, um, Before I get into the show, because I'm waiting on my guest, I have a guest that's supposed to come on tonight. And the guests that I'm supposed to have come on tonight, if they come on, I know people be going through things or whatever. I talked to them earlier, and they said they were coming. So um in the event that they don't, we're still going to talk about the things that's been going on in our community affecting young men, right? There's just so much going on out here, and it's affecting young men, and coming from those ages of 18, 19, and all the way up to like 22, 23. It's like that age range of young men that are being attacked and things are happening to them. But it's not like it's a new thing. It's a continuous thing. This thing has been happening for the longest. Although in our community, we give so much to the younger people, right? Even when it comes to hip hop music, they keep saying it's a young person's game, or it's a young person's genre and a place on the field to be in. People are always looking for the next young somebody or little somebody that they could take advantage of. But that's only in our community that we find ways to hate each other, right? We find ways to dislike each other. We find ways to disapprove each other, because that's just how we feel about each other. It really has nothing to do with how outside people feel about us. That's the hardest part about living this life of trying to live your truth, right? We want to speak up for injustices and things that go on in our community against us, but a lot of things that be going against us be people who look like us as well too. The country is in upside down right now because of what's been going on to a lot of people from the opposite ends, right? You got black and white again in the news as usual being used as pawns in order to start this race war, race baiting, and things going on. Now, are the things going on wrong? They are wrong because people have lost their life. Young men have lost their life based on the friends that they choose. The saddest part about it goes like that in every community, right? Like the friends you choose. And that's just not when it comes down to white people. It's black people too. A lot of these people that are going through things because of their friends, right? The people that they choose to be around. So many people get in different scenarios, whether it's gangs or neighborhood posses or crew, however you want to look at it. And they follow people who are who act out the violence, right? Because they want to be a part of that. They feel like they protected by somebody they know that'll do something violent. But at the end of the day, that person always puts them in a position where they lose their freedom or they lose their life because they follow people, right? And it's their friends, right? There's so many different stories. If we take out the color of the person and just think about the story, about friends, about the friends you choose and how that can possibly affect you and unalive you. Even going past the fact of the worst case scenario is the unaliving, but what about in your life, right? What about, moving forward or moving upward in your life? Why would you be around people who don't have the same desire to do more or want more in life? And I find myself in that space, right? Like I think about this all the time. You know, anybody that considers me a friend, because I know there's a lot of people out there that consider me that, right? And I respect that, right? Because um it takes a lot for you to be considered somebody's friend, right? A friend is somebody you could count on. A friend is somebody that'll be there for you. A friend is somebody that'll talk you off the ledge if you ever feel like you're about to jump. A friend also will pray for you, pray with you. A friend will also look for opportunities where they can help benefit or help invest in your life, right? Help invest in the things that can make you better as well because it makes them better at the same time. I always heard this one thing that, if my candle is lit and I use the fire from my candle to light your candle, it's not going to put my fire out. All it's going to do is make the flame bigger. So you got to kind of look at it from that perspective. But a lot of people don't. And a lot of people don't have friends. But whenever I look at it and I understand why people consider me that, right, is because everything that I do, I try to include people that I consider a friend. Are there certain levels of friends? Are there certain circles of friends? Of course they are, right? Of course, you got to understand that people have their place in your life. But I always try to include the people that are close to me in something that I have going on because whatever I'm doing is also for the benefit of the people that are around me. So if they take it that way, like I said, it's a mindset thing, right? The moment people think they doing something for me, they lost it. They lost it. And that's something that I reiterate to my crew all the time. Like, don't think that you're doing something for me. This is for you. I'm just providing the opportunity. If you don't do it, I'ma still do it, right? And it comes off the way that it comes off. And I think about that a lot of times too. I try to pick and choose how I say things. It doesn't always come across the way that I wanted to come across by overthinking the way I say things. So sometimes I just got to say it because I want people to at least get that much of the truth. Like, yo, I'm telling you, regardless of you, I'm going to do it. So don't feel like you're doing something for me. Do it for you. That way, whenever you get into it, you could take pride in that thing, right? You could be the person that says to yourself, yeah, I'm doing this and this is going to benefit me and help me out. That's what you should be looking at it from. It's not a selfish way to look at it if somebody's including you. If somebody's including you, then what would you do to show that you appreciate that? I look at that from that perspective because on the flip side, the opportunities that I am getting are coming from strangers, right? People who don't know me or people who just meeting me or people who are finding me based on the things that I'm putting out. And then all these opportunities are coming, but it's not from people that I know personally. It's from people who I don't know. And I am understanding that, because if you get into your feelings every time something don't go the way you think it should go, then you're always going to be upset about something. And I realized that I don't want to spend my life being upset about shit all the time, right? I don't want to spend my life looking at what's wrong all the time. I just want to focus on what's right, because the world is in shambles. If you kind of pay attention, it's always showing is what's wrong. But there's so many people living their life and what's right for them, right? They're living their life. They're buying the homes, they're buying the land, they're doing the traveling, they're living their life in a freedom-based space, right? They're not living their life confined to the way other people say that they're supposed to live. And then that's the vibe that I'm on. So whenever it comes down to people around me, that's all I want. But it's on them. It's not like I'm waiting on anybody else to say to themselves, yo, I want freedom too. I'm saying that if you're doing anything that's a part of what I'm doing, this is the reason why I'm doing it. I'm doing it for freedom. I'm not doing it just so I can have a bunch of shit. Like, there's a lot of people who want material things and they accumulate those things, and that's what makes them happy. And I'm not knocking that. Whatever you love, I like. I mean, it's cool. I'm not mad at that at all. But it's so many people who had everything material and they still took their own life, because at the end of the day, none of that can replace how you feel about you. You got to have a certain feeling about you in order for you to feel like you're successful at anything that's going on. You can't use money as a measuring stick either to feel successful. I think that's the thing. Success and wealth is not the same. I think wealth is an accumulation of different successes that you have, but success is trying the thing that you get inside of you, even if it don't work at first. You got to be willing to try. That's successful. When you put something out, if it fails, that's still a success because you tried. I know people don't look at it from that perspective, and most people won't, right? They only look at the things that they felt like that works or looks like as something that's successful. They don't look at the ability to do so, because there's somebody who don't have the ability to do anything that they dream about, right? There's so many people who are confined to like wheelchairs, or don't have the best mobility in their life, or are not surrounded by people who are positive. Their family and their structure and their neighborhood is all negative, right? So all the gifts that they have inside of them get buried because they just got to survive. And so when it comes down to it, those people who get the opportunity to create something or to live outside of whatever their small little box is, and to try something, that's success. That's a real mindset that it takes for you to try something. And because you might not get the attention that you want, especially when it comes to content, you guys got to realize that people are watching, right? The reason why you'll notice that you get a lot of views and you might not get comments and all that other stuff, you trust me, a lot of those are people who know you. They're not going to let themselves be known that they're doing that, right? For some reason, they won't. But those will be the same people that when your joint pop, they'll be the same people that's going to pull out all the old pictures of y'all. They're going to pull out everything that they can show people they connected to you. And whenever that happens, you just got to be a person that says to yourself, yo, you know where to put these people, because these are the same people that's going to come and ask for stuff for free. Remember, the more people you know and they don't support you right now, don't worry. They got all the receipts of them being around you, hanging with you, being in certain things with you, even part of your productions if you had early productions, or if you're in the music or any of those things. There are people who were in your videos back in the day or whatever. There's a lot of people who have been in areas with you that's going to be coming and trying to figure out ways to be a part of what you're doing for free. So those are the people that you're going to have to really be able to just, curve. Like, you're going to have to be in your bag to be able to curve these people, because you can see the vibe. It's just like that every time. Like, your strangers are going to make you wealthy, right? But the people that know you, they're going to give you a lot of your upfront views. So when you get the lower viewership, when you get the 100 views or whatever you get from the thing, trust me, those are people that know you, run across you, and all that other stuff, because it comes without the like. It comes without the comment. It comes without the share. It comes without the encouragement. So you understand that those are people that know you. They're going to give you that, right? But you use that to your advantage, right? Because at the end of the day, these people are going to become the people that you don't have to hire, right? There's so many people got to hire a marketing team. You won't have to hire a marketing team once your joint pop, because all the people that knew you from before, oh, they gonna market and promote for you. They definitely are, especially if they was in anything. I look at that all the time. So that's why I say, collectively, if you're gonna have people in your life that you consider friends, and they don't try to offer you an opportunity or be a part of anything that is going to benefit you or to grow, then I don't know if you really can consider them a friend. I know that people could look at you a certain way when you're the giver of the opportunity, but can you look at them the same way when they don't ever provide an opportunity for you? Right? I got certain people around me who they connect me with other people, and that gives me an opportunity, right? Especially like my boy DMV. I gotta give him a shout out, because whenever we connect with all his people from DC, I always get an opportunity or something comes from it because of the people that he know. Because we all know that a lot of stuff take place in DC. So, when it comes down to entertainment and everything else, or just the world, all the decisions and everything that's going on is coming out of there. So, um, always got to give him a shout out, because, like I said, if there's certain people in your life that can't see the value in you and understand that, boom, there's room for everybody to eat, then you're around the wrong people. And I love that people sleep on what's being done. I love it, because they're the people who are going to be the first to be upset when things pop, because it's not going to go the way they think. I pay attention to everything. I don't miss nothing at all. I just it's one of those things. I just don't. I see it all and I recognize it all. So I'm gonna be well prepared for whenever it looks successful to other people. But right now, I can't say that I'm not successful, because I'm able to do the things that I envision, the things that most people say that they dream about. I'm able to do it, and regardless of what the scale is, compared to other people, because another thing, people like to be compared to other people and what they're doing, versus the fact that you're living in your own truth and you're living in your freedom of being able to express yourself and be creative and just use what God gave you. Like, it's something that it goes to say about that. Most people, they look at that and they say, well, maybe it's just a hobby, or maybe it's just something to do on the side. Not saying to yourself, what you're doing is you laying the bricks of the foundation for the rest of your life, and the people who come behind you for their life as well too. So I said all that to say, in conjunction to what my show was supposed to be about today, because my guest still hasn't came on. So I guess it's one of them where it's just gonna be me and y'all today, which is fine, because I've been working, just to say this before I get into that, you know what I mean? I've been working in the background. I've been saying for a while that I need to get a co-host, right? Because of times like this, which is that thing where, sometimes your guests don't always show. So you gotta be prepared for stuff like that, because your show still got to go on even if you don't. That's why when people hit me up and they say things like, "Yo, what do you do about a space?" Right? So people were saying, "Yo, you should get a podcast space and all these other things," and then you get into putting out money, right, to do a podcast, and then you get there where the people don't show up. So then now you still are paying for people to not show up. At least in this particular lane right here, what we got going on, if they don't show up, it doesn't take no more effort than it would if they did, right? So, um, and you're getting the opportunity to still have your show and still produce your show. And the people who are coming, especially when it comes down to the audio part, right? They appreciate that part as well too. So, um, I'm just thankful for the platform in general. But let's get into this real quick, because I don't want to miss the mark on the actual point of the conversation today. So the lady that I had coming on today, her 19-year-old son was murdered in Georgia. But it was weird though, right? Because it was one of those things where he was going to go see a young lady. And then when he got there to see the young lady, for some reason, she was rushing him to leave. So it's like, why would you rush me to leave when you know that like, you want me to come over here, now you ready for me to leave? So it all seemed like it was a little setup, right? I got the details that's been given to me. It's just based on what it looks like. I can't speculate right and wrong what it was, but these complexes and stuff be having cameras, right? So they saw the guy under the staircase. I don't know at what point do people monitor the cameras? No, I guess they just have them on recording. So if something happens, they could just show people what happened. But there's nobody actually monitoring cameras in none of these places. So the young man that was under the stairs waiting for him to come out shot him multiple times. He passed away a couple of days later. The young man was strong. He got shot a few times, and he was a strong young man, and he fought for his life. Like he passed away like 2 days later in the hospital. But the saddest part about it was that someone felt the need to do that to him, and it looked like over a girl. I don't really, those parts of the details is not really there. But the foulest part about her story was, or is that he was a victim in his own murder. So the person that they were looking for was him. They used his name and described him as a person of such a suspect they were looking for in his own murder. Then they had to come back and be like, "Oh, my bad. We had got cases mixed up," because there was a bunch of cases going on in the same day. And so they had to come back and then, but at that particular point in time, it was able to go left because they were looking for the exact person that was dead versus the person that actually did it, right? And so the mom is offering a reward for that. But another part of her story that was sad, that I thought was sad, it was crazy, was that, like 2 years later after her son was murdered, her dad was murdered by the police leaving Bible study. He was a deacon at a church and he was leaving Bible study, and something happened with a accident, a car accident, and he didn't want to sign the citation. Why? I guess, but that is your right, because signing the citation is just like signing a contract. But I guess he didn't want to sign it. So the police wasn't having it. They was trying to make him sign it. He wasn't signing it. They tased him. And yeah, but he had heart problems. He had a heart condition. So, and they tased him multiple times. So yeah, he passed away on the scene too as well. And nothing ever came from that, right? No justice from that. The police officer that did it, nothing was done to them. They were able to just continue going on about their life as something that they did for the day, right? Just taking a life. It's cool. They get up the next couple of days, you know what I mean? They come back to work and they outside again, just ready to do whatever that thing is that they call a job after they just took somebody's life. So I feel for her, right? So at any given time, anything could be going on in her world while she's not jumping on. But I think that goes along with what I wanted to say about everything that's been happening to young men, or just Black men in general, throughout the course of history. You will never get to run away from the fact of being what they consider an endangered species out here, right? You're not going to get away with it. And there's so many people who will take that type of mindset, or take this type of top I'm talking, and want to go ahead and start saying that I'm about to start victim talking, right? Like, we a victim. I just want y'all to know that I don't have to mention that we a victim. I think the news is doing that enough for us to letting y'all know exactly who the victim is. Because look, Officer Tatum went up on that Nancy Grace and got cooked, right? Because he wanted to jump out the window and defend the guys on the other end of the Nolan Wells case, like his friends and all that. right? That's what he wanted to do. He just wanted to make sure that he protected them, or he gave them an opportunity to tell their side of the story, because he believed, just like everybody else, that Nolan drowned. Like, I, I, I don't know why that's the vibe that they just want to run with, but that's it, right? And he went down there and he did that. Then when he got on Nancy Grace and she asked him specific questions like about the polygraph test, he was like, "Yeah, they took one, and all of them took one except one." And she was like, "Oh, okay, so they really took a polygraph test." And he was like, "Well, no, it was an equivalent to one. It was like one that they used to test." It was like, "But was it a polygraph?" And he was like, "Well, not in the traditional sense. It was." So it was like, well, then it wasn't a polygraph. They didn't take one, bro. Like, regardless of how you want to spin it, they didn't take one. And my thing would have been like, yo, which I don't understand is they not the victim. So why would you use your platform first to try to interview the victims? Like, why wouldn't you use that for that? Like, go to the parents first of Nolan Wells and get their side of the story first. Like, that should have been the first thing you did with your type of platform, but you didn't. So you're showing you're showing your bias, bro. And I hate that you're doing that, because you are one of the people that get upset when people call you Uncle Tom and all this other corny shit, but you are doing the coonery. Like, that doesn't make sense. And it has nothing to do with color. If it was the opposite way around, you still should use your platform to go to the victims first. These young men that you're going down to interview, or that you did interview, that was supposed to be his friends, they wasn't the victim. They're not the ones unalive. Why would you use your platform to try to get them some type of light to saying that they not guilty with something, when we could see, obviously, if it wasn't guilty, then why all this covering up thing that they doing? Why all the suspense? Why it takes so long for the autopsy? And why now we still don't have 100% of the details of the autopsy? Why? Why, when they went to DC, they saying they can't get 100% of everything that happened to him because they don't have his throat and they don't have his lungs? So what are we doing here? If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I want to say, that people probably are not going to like. That when it comes to being white in America, that people are going to go out their way to protect you. Like, your people, the people who rock with you, the people on the other side, the parents and the people in Mississippi, all those people, they're doing everything they can to protect these young men, to make sure that these young men, and I guess this lady, a couple of girls that's connected to it, right? They're doing everything they can to protect them. They're doing everything they can to throw the case another way, saying that it's just speculation. They're doing everything they can to do that. And when it comes to us, we barely get that type of support from anything. Like, I mentioned this last week too, when it comes to like Ben Crump and Al Sharpton and all of these other people, we know that they only one person. So I guess, what I'm about to say is not indicative of saying that they could just do everything. But the power of social media is so crazy that I don't understand, like, even from their offices or from their teams, that they don't even, they just stick with anything that considers to be the biggest story that they could get in front of that camera. It's weird that they only show up when the cameras are out, and so many different people are going through all these crazy things that could use them just mentioning it in order to get things going on. Even if they don't take the case, even if they don't show up for press conferences, just the fact that they use a platform to shed the light on what's going on. We don't have that in our community, right? We don't have people, and your family will barely do it, right? He 19 years old. Well, at that particular point in time, he was 19, and so of course his parents are going to be, because he's still a child, technically. I mean, he's technically literally an adult at 18 or whatever, but he's still a kid, right? And so at that particular point in time, yeah, your parents should do whatever they got to do to make sure that you're good. But for the most part, you got to really kind of think about this, y'all. You are living as a person, right? As whoever you are. as you consider black, brown, or whatever, that people will be quick to believe that you are wrong about something before they believe that you're right. Like, you literally got to die in order for people to support you. And that's the craziest thing about our community. We jump out the window when it's black against white, but all the stuff that happens when it come down to us, even when it come down to us doing harm to us, crickets. People are not in their bag. People are only trying to, and that's why I've always been very careful about commenting on Nolan Wells' case, because listen, all the details wasn't out. So to be one of those people that's just going to jump out the window and just start popping shit because of what it looks like, it just goes to show that anybody could be used and their emotions can be used against them. Anybody that doesn't have that particular mindset. But when you have a platform, you have a responsibility to get information out. This is the main reason why we all should have platforms, because think about it, the news never told our stories anyway if it wasn't something that they could use to affect the masses. So that's why this platform exists. So, just to be able to have certain commentary with parents who have gone through those things in their neighborhood, whether it's been from the police they've been dealing with or just around their neighborhood and the people that they've been affected by, even when it's affected by those that look like them. I've had people on here who have lost their children to vehicular manslaughter, like just people driving crazy outside, right? Hit and runs, and it's been a lot of them, right? But the point I'm trying to make when I say all this is that everything that goes on in our community, it gets swept under the rug if it ain't big enough, if it ain't white and black enough, if it ain't, where people can actually use it, you know what I'm saying, to actually be in a negative space, right? I haven't heard too much. I heard it from a couple of senators, but for the most part, I haven't heard too much from the administration on Nolan Wells. And I mean on the Democratic side or the Republican side, right? I don't really hear too much coming from them. I know it's a few things out there and different people are saying certain things like, but I don't see it as one of the things that they're talking about. This is what makes it hard, right? You had Cory Booker come out and say something about, hey, we want to make sure that Nolan Wells is there. He gonna do that type of stuff. But where is all of the people who are popping? Like, they ready to attack anything else that got to do with them. Like, when I see the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, whenever they outside, it's because they're trying to defend something for them, their policies, what they want. But actually, the actual people who need them to step up and do the things that they were voted in to do, they not saying nothing. There should be so many press conferences. There should be so many different, especially in Mississippi and all of these places. It should be so many different things going on in that area. So much light need to be shown on that whole system down there in Mississippi, from the judge to the a medical examiner to the prosecutor. All those people need to be under the light right now. Every last one of them. Because about all of the people that didn't have the light shined on them like Nolan Wells did, right? They all had to just deal with whatever was said. Whatever those people went out there and said, oh, this was an accident, they still telling people that the people who are getting found hung in trees have hung themselves. They're calling it suicide. Like, a person could really hoist themselves up, throw the rope. Where they getting the rope from? Nobody can find out where they bought the rope. Like, where's the rope? Like, if that's the case, where are they getting all of this stuff from to hang themselves? When they go find the bodies, they don't find none of this stuff. Like, they don't find the table, chair, whatever they use to stand on in order to get the noose around their neck, in order to kick it out the way, in order for them to hang. Like, they can't find none of the things that help themselves understand that a person tried to hang themselves, yet they find them hanging from trees and they're calling it suicide. And they've been talking about all these things that's been happening in Mississippi to a bunch of people who they kept coming back talking about it was accidental this and this, that, and the third, when it come down to that. But I think what helped, which is always going to help, is that the one thing about racist people is that they love to pop shit about their racism. They love it. Because the guy that got caught who was popping off, who thought that nobody was gonna figure out who he was, that was doing that whole rant about, yeah, we kill y'all babies, we throw them in the water, we befriend them, and we take them out to places we know they can, and we watch them splash around like monkeys in the water. You know, he was just going crazy. Then they found out who he was and found out his job and all this other shit. He got fired and a whole bunch of other stuff. But the fact of the matter is he got fired and all these other things, which is okay, whatever. But he was telling the truth, and he said we. He didn't just say I, he said we. So even getting rid of him or shutting him down ain't got nothing to do with everybody else that he knows that they do it with. So it's a bunch of them that are doing things to people who they'll get away from, especially in the South, because of the history of the South and the history of the people in the South and how they feel about black people or brown people or in the South. Like, it's just that thing. Like, you live in the South, you are, you know, you can liably, you know, you can still be taken out due to racism as if you were in a gang. Yo. I thought that people really looked at you in a way that could make you human to them. But I see that that's not the case. And any of the things that's going on outside right now. So we got to be aware. We got to find ways to circumvent it, right? Like, how can we work together, right? This is the thing I want to know about. How can we work together? There's so many people who have people fighting for them on the legal side, that people who are wrongly incarcerated, people who are, you know, especially in those positions of being wrongfully incarcerated, there are people on the outside fighting for them in order to get their freedom. At the same time, every day that they're in there, they're being used for free labor. So you can imagine how slow the system is when it comes down to the exoneration of people that they done harm to because they still use them. You know, slavery never ended, y'all. It just got a new title, and it's called the prison system. You know, a lot of guys are out here living their life that makes them magnetic to the prison system, right? They love going to jail. They don't mind going to jail. They do stuff to put themselves in position to go to jail because that's just their life. You know, people love to say that they've been in prison, they've been locked up, they've been doing all this other things. But giving their lives to the system and becoming a slave for however many years that they're in there. You know, slavery just never went away. And then people, they lose their life in prison too. They get attacked, gang violence, all these other things. Same thing going out on the street and go on in the prison, except for there's no women. So people are just doing all these things to each other. And it's weird, right? Because at the end of the day, y'all, our history is being written for us again. We got our past that was taken away and erased, and our future being rewritten for us right in our face. But I want to pose a question to all of y'all out there that'll be watching this. When are you going to start writing and taking control of the story in your own life, in your own narrative? When are you going to become the owner? When are you going to become the creator? When are you going to become the person that says that this is how I want to live and I'm going to go for it? How many of y'all feel that way? How many of y'all understand that you could get there? You just don't have to go by yourself. I think that's what I'm realizing at this particular space that I am right now. It's just how much you got to realize how much you need other people. Our lives have been set up for us to be out here independent, when we need to be interdependent on each other, right? Helping each other get through. The bills and things that people are complaining about are going up, but the community is not going up either, right? So there is a way to fix what's going on. It's just that, do you really want it to be fixed, or do you just want to complain? Because there is a way to fix it. You don't have to suffer through. the way life is set up for us right now. You just don't have to do it. You can honestly jump out the window and change your circumstances, change your life, change the trajectory of your life. Open up yourself to just trying something new. What you've been doing ain't been working. So many single moms out here trying to raise these kids on their own. They're struggling, they're complaining because they haven't linked up with other people. You can't trust everybody around your kids. It's a lot of different variables that you have to deal with when it comes down to that. But there's a part of you who knows the right thing to do. And I think that's the thing that people got to connect with, the people who know the right thing to do. How do you do that? You got to be willing to put yourself in a position mentally that you want to attract like-minded people. Because when you put out in the atmosphere, that's what you're going to get back. The way that you think is the way that you are. So if you think that way, you're going to start being sent people who are like-minded like you. Their circumstances and stuff might not always be the most ideal, but ultimately, y'all two or y'all three or y'all four working together will get all of y'all to the place that y'all supposed to be. I feel, and I wish that all of y'all take that, that type of energy and y'all move it into something positive with your life. And just look at people from that perspective, right? Like, there are a bunch of like-minded people out there. You just got to be in that frequency. You got to want that. You got to meditate, y'all. You got to ground. You got to go outside and put your feet in the grass. You got to, you just got to connect. In order for the universe to send you the things and the pieces that you need, you got to connect. To some people, that may seem like I'm trying to sound like it's easy, right? But I think that's the thing. It is easy, right? The hardest part is just doing it. The answers be there. The answers are easy. They're like, you can easily get the answer. It's just that, are you going to do what it takes? Once you got the information, once you got the answer, are you going to do that? Because you want it to happen tomorrow. If you want it to happen tomorrow, then you got to start today. It doesn't matter. You can keep prolonging it all you want, thinking that it's not going to happen right away. Why should I meditate today? And my life ain't going to change right away. How do you know? But if it ain't going to change right away, if it takes a certain level of you constantly getting into, then you got to get into it today. You got to get into it now, right? You got to do it now. You can't wait. You can't wait, y'all. You can't wait for the right day or the right time. Get it out. And it's the same thing with all of my creators. So before I get out of here, let me say this to my creators out there. Like, get this stuff, get it out. Don't hold on to nothing. Don't have a phone or a computer full of content that you're not putting out. Why? Let it go. Like, what are you holding on to it for? Let it go. Get open, y'all. You don't have the money for the big cameras and all that other shit. Use your phones. Get started. Do it. Get these things out of you. Be who you are. If you want to start your own podcast, do that too. Right? Don't be afraid to do those things. Get to it. Don't be afraid, because at the end of the day, it's never too many people doing too much. So let's do this. Before we get out of here, let me give y'all a couple of things. I talk about health all the time. Health is wealth, right? We know that they got this parasite going around, messing people's stomachs up, got them having diarrhea, got them, they losing a lot of weight. So I think a lot of people are using it for that, but it's messing up their system completely, right? To the point now where they're saying people are passing away from it. So for those of y'all, I wish that y'all will go out there and do this one thing. Go ahead and do the research on parasites in the body and the effects of parasites in the body, because they're more than just the parasite that's out now affecting people. It's more than that, right? It's a lot of other ones that people already have in a system that they just didn't know. So do the research, click the link in the description, get yourself the parasite detox. Start taking care of yourself now. There's nobody coming to help us. I promise y'all that. And then once you do that, you got to use the super binders for the toxin and heavy metals so you can get those out of your system. So what happens is these things gather up those things in your system and help your lymphatic system flush them out, right? So do the research. Y'all get it popping, and don't wait, right? Help yourself now. Do not wait. Secondly, I wanted to make sure that y'all knew out there about the Good Feels brand. Okay, the Good Feels infused seltzer is THC infused, right? So for those people who don't like the effects of alcohol when they go out to drink and all these other things, you can use the Good Feels brand in order to mix with your different mocktails, make it the way that you want it to. You can still get the buzz and the feeling that you need without the extra stuff that comes with alcohol and the dangers of driving and all of these other things that come along with it. Y'all click the link in the description, and then you can go ahead and shop around, get 20% off for using the code RA1RA1 of your total order too. Right, so make sure that y'all go out there and check them out. Right, the Good Feels brand. The link is in the description. Also, for those of you guys out there that are podcasting, they got a platform. If you want to distribute your audio versions to Spotify, Apple, and all the places that people download and stream audio versions of podcasts, I want y'all to click the link in the description for RSS feeds. It's in the description of this video, RSS feeds. Click the link. Go up there, find out how you do it. You get a link of your show so that you can post your show, or your show could be sent to other places and you could be downloaded or streamed right there. And you can start building that type of connection when it comes down to your affiliates, whether you're marketing or something. That's what we want, because it's there, it's in your audio version that you mention in these things, right? So, make sure that you guys go out there and check that out. Again, Combo Corner. Yes, Combo Corner is a special segment of Spark-N-Conversation where I talk to those people that people consider celebrities. I am very blessed and happy to be able to do so. I have been, so far, I have 16 episodes. I have the 17th one this week going on, being able to talk to people in the industry that are doing it, that have done it, and that have the information and the knowledge, and also the stories that most people never knew about, right? I want y'all to go out there and check it out on Spark-N-Conversation on YouTube, because, listen, I had Brenda Lee Ager on here, and y'all know her from having big songs with Jerry Butler and all the stuff from back in the day. But the way that she describes her songwriting and the people who collaborated on songs, she had Donny Hathaway on a piano for certain records, y'all. Like, I'm talking about the greats working with the greats and all these other things. I had the Honeycomb on last week, and I had the lead singer from the Honeycomb, who is actually married to Berdine White from Earth, Wind and Fire, right? So one step closer to getting those type of interviews or conversations as well too. So big up to Combo Corner and all the work that we're doing over there with this platform in order to be the voice of those who need it. That's just what it is. Yeah, I got to battle the algorithms and stuff because of the content that I do put up, but that's okay. For those of you guys that want to support the platform, that QR code that y'all see on my screen, you can easily scan that QR code and you could donate to the platform if you like, anywhere from a penny all the way up to whatever you feel that necessary that you would like to donate to support the platform. Because my platform is, like I said, it's not one of those that I'm clickbaiting. I'm not doing, things to make it where people are just gathering all these views real quick and then it's gone. Because I notice a lot of these platforms, they are hot with the clickbait stuff right now, but then once those things quiet, they're gone. Right. I'm going to be consistent with this platform, and I'm going to continue to be consistent with the platform. So I'm not going to do clickbait stuff. I'm always going to bring y'all the real stories from the real people. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to build it and we're going to keep going. Right. So I want to thank each and every one of y'all. Right. And I also want y'all to go out there and check out the new piece of content that I just dropped on today, which is Tarot Read and Go Wrong Part 16. It got my homie Sergio Unk Fevers in there. I call him Unk. And we got Rose, my twin, my birthday twin, in the building. We share the same birthday. And she's also starring in it with me. I want y'all to go. It's pinned. If you follow me on Facebook, it's pinned to the top of my page. It's also on the Collective Visions page on Facebook, and it's also on Team Collective TV on YouTube, so you guys can go check that out. I also wanted to show y'all right here the Collective Visions. All right, so I'm telling y'all, I am building something. right? I'm not gonna lie. I am building something over here on the content end. We are building, we're rolling, and we're going. I got a new series that's getting ready to drop next Tuesday, right? Called Trapped in the Living Room. But in between time, we're on set. We're on set this Saturday, filming a new comedy series called First Sunday. We're continuously loading the clip, and I'm working. So if you are an actor or actress and you're in the North Carolina area and you want to get the work and you want to put it in the work and you willing to follow the directions that it takes to monetize yourself and to turn yourself into a brand, that way you don't have to wait on somebody to pay you for something. You can put yourself in a position to make money. Then I'm the person you need to work with. Make sure y'all connect with me, all right? Make sure y'all connect with me. Now, it's a couple of ways that y'all connect with me. You can follow me on IG, right? If you want to do that. Or if you want to follow me on YouTube, you can also go to Team Collective TV on YouTube, right? Or if you want to rock with me and you want to get on the show, if you got anything, y'all can hit Spark-N-Conversation at gmail.com and put in the subject what it is. If you want to be on the platform, if you want to act or whatever it is, let me know, because this is how we're going to get it done. If you want to attend the We Don't Wait, We Create event, y'all need to go to thecollectiveevents.net. Get your tickets, y'all. Be in the building. We are bringing the people here for you to get the information that you need, y'all, to go to that next level. So I want y'all to stay encouraged out there. I want y'all to keep growing, keep grinding, and don't stop. All right? And remember, we don't wait, we create. And if anyone out there wants to get into the event for free, all you got to do is buy a shirt. We Don't Wait, We Create shirt. We have that pinned to the top of my page as well, too. So you go on my page on Rashid Myers on Facebook or the Collective Visions page or wherever, you can find that advertisement and you guys can make that work. I am super appreciative to all of y'all that watch tonight. I'm super appreciative to, all of y'all that watch the playbacks and y'all share and y'all do all those different things. And although my guest didn't show up tonight, I hope that whatever's going on in their situation or in their life, that it works out for them. I know it's a struggle to lose someone close that you love, especially a child. That's not something I wish on anybody. I feel bad for them, regardless if, of them not showing up on the show or not. It doesn't take away from their story. It doesn't take away from the things that they're going through. I never want to be that type of person that's that selfish to only be concerned about myself, because, hey, the show still go on. I'm still going to get content. And we're going to still keep pushing, and I'm still going to be available for those parents or people out there that are dealing with certain things like that, in order to have a platform to come tell your story. And I'm going to help push it outside of the conversation that we have. So again, I appreciate I appreciate the people in general, but I am going to get me a co-host, and I am working on it, and I am going to make it happen. So for those of y'all out there, thank y'all so much for watching. Thank y'all for watching each and every week and rocking with me. Thank y'all for continuously helping me to keep growing. That's what I love. Thank y'all, because it could go the opposite way. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate y'all. So until next week, man, I want y'all to stay fly out there. And remember, if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. So until then, peace.
Let's roll. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick, yeah. Co-pilot on the passenger side, be so fly. Yeah, she so lit, we so high. Just me and my chick, yeah. Just me and my chick.